Welcome back, thinkers. Let's deep dive back into World War One, where we talk about the aftermath of World War One. So let's talk about the aftermath. This is now after World War One, okay? And you might recognize somebody right here. If you can tell me who that is, let me know in Edpuzzle or in the comments. A little foreshadowing. Okay, so upon the entry of the United States, the war it got a boost of energy per se, or psychological boost, because the United States brought their technological advancements and so forth to help them boost up and win this war. Eventually, German officials figured that the Allies were relentless and they were not going to give up, or they were not going to make any form of peace. So as you see here, November 11, 1918, the new German government, they signed an armistice, or an armistice is like a truce, okay, to stop fighting for war for a certain amount of time. And that armistice was the ending of World War One, when they signed that agreement to end or stop fighting, okay? And November 11th, that is Veterans Day for us here in the United States, and pretty much a part of why we celebrate Veterans Day, right? Not just for veterans of current situations or current military, but also those that fought in hard battles such as this one in World War One, which was known as the Great War because it was so much casualties. This is President Woodrow Wilson, and he outlined some points, and it was called the 14 points. It was points, sorry. It was called the 14 points, and it was a peace settlement that he figured would help to bring agreements of peace out in the open, instead of just having secret meetings or secret diplomacy meetings, right? So those proposals that he created in the 14 points is now going to lead to an organization called the League of Nations, and it was supposed to prevent future wars from happening. However, the League of Nations faltered through. It did not hold up to its promises, and that's something we'll find out later on as to why it didn't come about and what made it fail. But nonetheless, it was an idea that took precedence to try to prevent future wars. And actually, the League of Nations was the brainchild or the start of what we have today called United Nations and NATO, etc. Okay? So eventually, somehow there had to be some kind of peace agreement to make sure that nothing, to prevent the wars, right? So there was this Paris Peace Conference, and delegates met in 1919 to figure out what was going to be this peace settlement. How are they going to negotiate things so that they can stop war, right? Among the countries that's attending this conference were definitely known as the Big Three, right? The United States, Great Britain, and France, which were the Allied forces anyway, right? Or the Allied powers. So eventually they signed this treaty called the Treaty of Versailles, and that declared Germany and Austria as responsible for starting the war. However, Germany had to pay reparations for all of the damages and lost territory that came about from this war. And if you know anything about reparations, reparations are monies, owed or given to countries or groups of people for ill events or damages or things that happen as bad events and so forth. So in this case, since Germany and Austria were getting the Treaty of Versailles mentioned that they were responsible for this war, they end up having to pay a lot of money to Allied forces and their constituents or their colonies, etc., for lost territory and these damages. Now, Germany is more than likely pissed off beyond festivity because they are very dissatisfied with this peace agreement. They're not agreeing with it, and it's going to cause trouble. Okay? And how much trouble is that going to cause? You tell me in Edpuzzle. How much trouble do you think this is going to cause? And remember the foreshadowing that I said? Think about that part too. Alright, so due to those provisions in the Treaty of Versailles, there's empires such as the Ottoman Empire and parts of Germany and so forth that had to split. Again, Germany having to give up some of its territory. So now Germany, apart from reparations and so forth, now they have to give up some of their lands or their conquered areas. Again, they're going to be very mad, right? So here, new countries emerge from this, and here are the new countries that come about. Poland coming from Germany. Turkey is no longer the Ottoman Empire, it's now Turkey. Yugoslavia comes from Austria-Hungary. Czechoslovakia from Austria-Hungary. Now Austria is split and Hungary is one country. So you have Austria as one country and Hungary as another country. And of course, this is going to become worlds of problems, as you see here. So go ahead and apply it as we've been talking about all of this. Use time, action, caption, object, summary. This has been your practice for this unit. Determine what's going on here in this political cartoon. Zoom in if you have to. There's a lot of symbolism going on here. Thanks for tuning in on this part of the unit, World War I. I hope you enjoyed everything we talked about, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.